Greetings. You join me in another wood, bluebell time, and well, what can I say? It's beautiful. It's been raining. Sun's come out. Not too much sun though. I can't stand too much sun, but some of you like it. But that's not the channel. This isn't the channel for sun. But I do get some, obviously. Well, we're going to walk through the bluebells, in paths in the wood through the bluebells, and look at some sights and maybe chat a bit. Let's go. Now I'll try and pan from side to side, just to get the views for you and avoid all the mud. As best I can. Interesting word, isn't it? Pan. And quite appropriate for our location, I guess. Obviously Pan, the god. But pan to mean from side to side. Anyone, any thoughts on that? Does pan move you from side to side? Or is it just the way you stand? It's lovely, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. Ready for the view behind. The rain has really cleared the air, given everything a wash. Ooh, there's a patch to visit. They called. For some reason they called. So let's investigate why. If there is a reason, there might not be. Now, one time when I came down to this bit, this area said, stay out, just stay out. This is a little bit dodgy in here, or there's something dodgy in here. I haven't felt it for the past few times. Look at the age of that one. Hello, field maple. It's a field maple. Yeah, right. You worked that out after I said. And here's a lovely bit of light into the bloobs. Thank you. I follow animal tracks or plantless paths when I go in to anywhere like that, just as a matter of course. If you have to damage something to go in, don't go in. Oh look, they look lovely from here, look at that. Should we zoom in and get a nice close shot? There, how's that? Which brings me neatly to a problem we have at the moment, a recent problem, again brought about by greed and ego and social media, not to mention terrestrial television jumping on the bandwagon. But the problem is to do with foraging. Now, I saw a forager on Instagram. They've been doing it since they were children because their father was interested. But I've seen them posting a lovely thick picture. You know, don't I look all pretty? Sat here on the mat, squashing bluebells. Okay. Now, sure, it was a private wood, but the one thing you don't do is disrespect nature, especially for your own ego and greed. I mean, I wouldn't dream of going here and just flattening bluebells just to sit down on a blanket, whether the wood was private or not. You'd have to go, I'll show you a spot that's perfect. There you go, base of that tree there, perfect. Nothing growing, put your blanket there. Not here, squashing, well, you don't know what you're squashing. If the bluebells are up, well, it means it's early spring or spring, and there's still orchids to come up. There's still all kinds of plants, campion, you know, all kinds of stuff to come up. So what these people are doing, and it's all young people, mostly young people actually, but you know, I don't want to have to be talking about this, but it's crucial. And so they're encouraging people and charging lots of money for people to come on courses and eat stuff. Sure, they make nice food and what looks like really interesting food, but there's a balance between taking, respecting nature, you know, greed and plenty. Because the trouble with what we've got here is that we only now, well, we have what, 12% woodlands, and I think that number is arguable and is possibly smaller, of which only 5% are accessible to the public. What it means is that the plants that grow in woodlands, and certainly ancient woodlands, which take thousands of years to create the conditions for them to grow. Now, if everyone's going out foraging and picking willy-nilly, so for example, let's do an example, okay? So the garlic, right, wild garlic, of which I can't see any down here. Imagine, I know wild garlic is plentiful, so it's a bad example, but let's just use, well, let's use pignut, okay? So there's a patch of pignut, yeah? So in gardening, there is the rule of thirds, and that is never cut more than a third of the branches, a third of the length, threes, plant in threes, multiples of threes, a third, the law of thirds. So let's say there's a dozen pignuts. Someone comes along, goes, ooh, there's a dozen pignuts. Oh, I missed it. Deer ran across there. Dozen pignuts, okay? So someone comes along and goes, ooh, a third. So instead of there being 12, there's now 9. And off they go. A few days later, someone else comes round, goes, ooh, 9. Sorry, they picked 3, 4, 3. Anyway, someone else comes along, goes, oh, look, 9. Oh, I'll have 3. Yeah, so then there's 6. Someone else comes along. See? Do you see what I'm getting at here? It's all very well if you've grown it in your garden and it's prolific, like dandelions in the hedgerows, or cow parsley, or other, other plants that are plentiful, wild garlic included. That's fine. But then, if everyone's going out trampling through the woodlands, because let's face it, most of these people who are going out doing it, and I'm quite happy to take courses out and take people out and show you. And in fact, it's one of the things I do. So, you know, it's greed is not good. So you see what I mean? That things dwindle and dwindle. And when you've got people who don't know the woodlands, haven't grown up with the woodlands, or have any experience of working in the woodlands or seeing the plants other than going in there and using the woodlands for recreation and putting nothing in, they don't really know, and I've tested this out, they don't really know what's actually going on in the woodlands because they haven't had the experience. Certainly the younger people, they haven't had the experience at all, and it shows. Sustainability is a word that's bandied about these days because everything has to be sustainable. So there's no point going and picking everything if nothing can regenerate. And certainly it's even more important now that so many trees are being cut down, our woodlands are being decimated by ash dieback, of which we might be experiencing in a minute. So that's going to lead to open spaces, which is going to lead to plants disappearing, possibly, or certainly reducing. And that's not good for anyone. Not you, not me. No one at all. We'll wander down this way. So we have to take the greed and the ego out of this. And not do these things that we may feel very tempted to do in the place of respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. And there's proof of the ash dying back. Now, it's a boggy bit, which I'm going to go along. Going to go along and have a little snack. That's my plan. But again, these things, they're all down to greed. Greed, the very thing that's destroying everything. The greed. Mine, I'm going to do it. Me. More, loads. I got loads. Hoard. You know? It's bad. It's really bad. And, well, we need to look at this differently, or else, and I think we're being forced to look at it differently, but I don't know, mostly people just seem to be avoiding having to change the way they live or what they do, for one or two reasons. Yeah, it's very wet, isn't it, down here? But this is nice and cool for me. Good spot to stop and cool down, actually. So I'll recommence in a minute or two. See, the trouble is, once things are gone, they are gone. You can't see where I've been, can you? The answer is no. Leave no trace. Will that be on my tombstone if I was to have one? Leave no trace. Yeah, possibly. Because I'm not going to have one because of that very thing. Bye-bye bluebells. You can't see where I've been. So back to what I was saying. If everybody can really think about what they're doing before they do it. Yeah, it's all about, actually, it's all about intention and reverence, actually. If you make everything a magical act through revering it and being respectful and ceremonially doing it even, then surely we can get ourselves a better world quite quickly, is the theory. But the trouble is, towns and cities will have to go, won't they? Lovely patch here, stitchwort, garlic, bluebells, and one of my favourite tree beings. Hello. Hello birds. How lovely your song is. As I was saying, respect and reverence. Look at this stitchwort out. Look at that. You know, don't get me wrong, sometimes I forget. And then I feel really bad about myself. I go, oh no, I forgot, I didn't do that. Oh. I feel really bad, but you know. Then I do make up for it. I do go back and apologise. And try and learn from my mistake and not do it again. And my thoughts on foraging do extend to mushrooms as well. You know, in a place where it's not where they're not bountiful. I mean, there are places in the world where certain mushrooms are bountiful, but even so, they shouldn't be overpicked, even if they are bountiful in that place. But here in the UK, well, we don't have bountiful isles anymore because they've been farmed and subsequently poisoned. trees and forests cut down, animals abused on a daily basis, food grown to feed animals so that they can be abused for longer, and eaten or used in other ways. I mean, and here's a controversial subject or controversial thing. I guess you're like this, but can you be a dog owner and champion animal rights? The reason I say that is because of dog food, dried or wet. Where's that all come from? You know, it's once you start thinking about things, you go, oh my God, it's a nightmare. But they need to be thought about. And that's probably why we have so much trouble with the world now, because in order for change to happen, we've got to think about a lot of things, pretty much everything we do, and the way that we do it all. And that won't be easy. Or we could just wait till everything goes and be gone. And then we have no choice. It's happened for us. Don't worry, I do things as well that I'm not happy about. That's what's led me to all these thoughts. You know, you start having to go, well, I do this or that or whatever. Is that a good thing? Is there a better way I can do that? And how do I shut my ego up in order to do that? But very often, less is more, isn't it? So thanks for coming along, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the bell, and you'll be notified, because sometimes people who love my channel don't get notified even with the bell, so it does help anyway. Check out the links below, sign up for a guided walk and healing session or anything else if it takes your fancy, and if not, I'll see you next time. Ta-ra. seen that before now.